Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail Community news and thru hiker update. So there's a lot of stuff going on out there. There's a lot of folks still on the trail. People are going to be getting on the trail just in a matter of months, some even in a matter of weeks. So we're going to go ahead and start covering some of those people out there. I want to thank the folks at Tac9er, makers of the tactical glove, the Kevlar line tactical glove, for sponsoring this channel. We'll talk a little bit about them in a minute, but we'll be doing a glove giveaway sometime in this video, so be sure and stay tuned in. So what's going on out there in the woods? We still got folks out there in the woods. Before I forget about it, I do want to mention and wish the Appalachian Trail 100 years happy birthday, because 100 years in October ago is when Benton MacKay came up with his paper about the Appalachian Trail and kind of created it and first thought about it and published it in the Architectural Journal. And so here we are 100 years later with a trail that everybody loves, that brings so much passion and brings so many people together. So that is pretty awesome. I'm sure we'll be talking more about that over the next year. But let's talk about the folks that are out there in the woods. So we got Luscious Nate and Tupac. They are in Maine. They're right now in the 100-mile wilderness heading on up to Baxter State Park. They will not be summiting because Katahdin is closed. The trail system up there is closed now. Of course, there's no camping in the park right now either. So they're going to get there and then they are going to have to get off trail. Luscious, I'm not sure if Nate and Tupac have to do this or not, but Luscious is going to go back and pick up 79 miles that he had to skip around from Pennsylvania down to Harper's Ferry. And then on his birthday on December 7th, which happens to be the day of Pearl Harbor, he is going to go back up there and finish that summit. Now, my understanding is the Hunt Trail system is going to be closed, so he won't be able to go up that, which is the traditional AT route. He'll probably have to go up the A-ball, and it's very, very rugged and very, very strenuous to do that, particularly in the winter. And Baxter State Park puts that out. However, he would still be considered a thru hiker, because if there's a trail closure, which if the Hunt Trail system is closed, and it probably will be because of all the rock scrambles and the icy rock scrambles you'd have to go over that may not allow you to do that, then maybe a lot more technical than, but if it's closed, then the ATC, if you care about being recognized by the ATC, and most people here lately have not, they would recognize you if you had to go around a closure. So that would be an official closure. However, ALDA, the Appalachian Long Distance Hikers Association, they will recognize you, not a problem. So don't worry, you'll still be recognized by somebody if that is something that's important to you, and that's okay if it is something that's important to you. The Praise team, they have just 352 miles to go on their Sobo portion of their flip-flop. They say they are having a blast out there still after all these miles. They were actually newlyweds, so when they get on the trail and during the time on their trail, they have celebrated their 1-year wedding anniversary. So that is an awesome accomplishment, awesome place to do it, not only on the trail, but the trail's tough enough as it is, so they've probably been learning a little bit about each other while they're out there, and they're still having a blast. So that is awesome. Sunday, who we saw in my recent video about the hiker community, she should be finishing her thru hike sometime over the next week. And Yak and his new tramley of Flower Power, Dreamer, and Discount, they are around 200 miles left, and they will be finishing up on their flip-flop. So some folks out there who have finished, the happy married couple, they are done. And they finished in Daleville, Virginia, and after an 18-mile day that started and ended in the dark, that took them over McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs. Everybody's heard of those, so some great vistas that they had there at the end of their hike. They started in April. They said it was truly amazing and a life-changing journey. So, and a relationship building as well. So, both parties there spoke about how it changed them and how it built their relationship, and they celebrated their 34th wedding anniversary while they were out on the trail. So kudos to you, happy married couple, for that. And then the dude finished his flip-flop with defib on October 16th, and don't have a picture to show of them. They didn't send me one, but D-Fib is 74 years old. So congratulations to both of them. And then Turtle Hawk, he started on January 1st, 2021. He summited on his NOBO on October 18th, and he was number 1,480. So he was one of the last folks to summit. He finished his summit on the 18th, and they closed it 2 days later. So at number 1480, hopefully we had 20 more that summited between when he summited and when it closed on the 20th. If you know of some other folks out there that summited, no matter when they summited, but particularly if they summited on the 18th or after, I'm trying to get data to see exactly how many folks did have a pure NOBO summit. So hopefully we breached that 1,500 mark. I could call up at Baxter State Park. A lot of times it's hard to get an answer out of them, or they may not know because some of that data is kept at the ranger station, which may not have made it over to headquarters yet. And then some really huge finishes that we had, and that was a couple folks finished it, or 3 folks finished their calendar year Triple Crown this year. So Horsepower, he finished his calendar year Triple Crown. He started on the AT and then flipped over to one of the Western Trails, finished the CDT and the PCT, came back, finished, he got off the trail there. No, he started his trail on the AT there at Clarendon Gorge, which is near Rutland, Vermont. And so he was going to finish there. However, when he came back, he decided he wanted to go ahead and do Stratton. So he went ahead and did Stratton and finished Stratton. And that wasn't enough for him to do the calendar year Triple Crown. He is now on the Arizona Trail. So that's awesome horsepower. And then a couple guys that say they are the youngest to ever finish a calendar year Triple Crown successful, and that is Woody and Buzz, and they have finished theirs, and they are complete. So if you're from 2021, you're still on the trail, we want to know about you. We'd like to include you in our update. We don't have a lot of folks now that are updating it because most people have already gotten off. So you can hit me up down below in a DM or in my email. Let me know how things are going out there if you want to be included, and certainly your finish or your summit down at Springer now, or even if you summited previously and we haven't brought attention to that at Katahdin. We want to include everybody that we can and celebrate this huge accomplishment on your trek. So please, by all means, let us know that. And then we got a lot of 2022 hikers that are coming up, and that season is already got started in earnest. Already had some folks get started out there. We had one that we were tracking early start. He got started, and he has made it to somewhere around Yellow Gap, which is in North Carolina, between Stokoa and Fontana. But I just got word just an hour or so ago that he fell and got hurt. Helped him, connected him with some trail angels up there, and he's going to get off and go to the doctor and see if he can get that straightened out and get back on trail, or he may have to get out and do some rehab and everything. So his plans had been to make it to Hot Springs and then get off for the winter. He may get off a little early, or he may come back and get to Hot Springs and then get off until the first of the year. But in any case, wish the best to you. Early start, and let us know. Keep us posted about what happens. And then we've got our first Eastern Continental Trail /AT hiker for the year, and that is Hype, and he's going to be starting the Eastern Continental Trail, which starts down in Key West and goes all the way up to Newfoundland, whichever one it is. Y'all always give me grief about that, but hey, I'm from North Carolina, so. But he's going to be starting in Key West on December 1st. Hopes to get to Springer somewhere around early to mid-March and stay on the AT all the way up to Katahdin, and then get back on the ECT, which shares the same treadway as the AT, and finish up. And he's going to be YouTubing his entire journey, and that his YouTube channel is, you can find that in our hiker support list, and that is down below. The link to that is down below. And so I'd encourage you, if you're just one of the hiker community and you want to, support the Thru Hikers for next year, then go to the forum down there, and you'll be able to find that sheet, the link to that sheet for all the Thru Hikers that are currently signed up for 2022. We have somewhere around 21. We have somewhere around almost 70 folks that have signed up. And if you're a 2022 Thru Hiker, then there's also a link to the form that you can populate yourself to that support list. And then you can go and see the other folks that are out there. A lot of Thru Hikers and hikers that are out on the trail, they kind of keep up with each other through that as well as through my update. So please go and take advantage of that. So 2022 registrations, where those continue to climb. Last week we had 1,294 NOBO, and this week we got 1,354, so that's up about 60. Lost a few flip-floppers, lost about 3, and lost about 2 folks that had registered for their subo. Typically the way we lose them is those people decide they're not going to be doing their trip, and so they go and cancel their registration, which is the proper thing to do rather than just leaving it out there. It takes an extra step to go and do that, but we appreciate you doing that because that's where the data is taken from. So right now registrations we have for the class of 2022 are around 1,421. So we got a good class going on, and those numbers will continue to climb. And again, if you're a 2022 hiker, Thru Hiker, we want you on our support list. I want your updates. If you're comfortable with that, you can send those to me either through the email or send those to me in one of the DMs through Instagram or Facebook, and I'll include you each week. So we're going to get to trail news in just a second, but before we do, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Tac9er, makers of these really cool tactical Kevlar lined gloves. So they are cut resistant, puncture resistant. It's got that Kevlar lining in it, so they're also heat resistant, so you don't get burned off on your stove. Going through briars is no problem. I kind of did a test and went through some briars, didn't have any kind of issues with that, but they're really cool gloves and look like they hold up for work environments. They've got this protection here for your knuckles as well as the first joint, and they're really thick, so they feel like they'd be warm in the winter. But in any case, if you're interested in these gloves, one, I got a giveaway that's coming up shortly in the video. And then if you just want to go and buy them because, hey, Christmas is coming and these would be perfect for somebody that doesn't have any gloves, needs them for work or for the trail, or just some gloves in general, you can go and find those links down in my description section to get that glove. There's some discounts down there for Amazon and for the go directly to the Tac9er online store, and I will leave those discount codes down there for you, and you'll be able to find those. Go there, and that would make a great Christmas present for some folks out there. So some trail news we got going on. Of course, we talked about Katahdin being closed. The ATC put out the hiker season at Katahdin is closed, and I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I would say that hiker season is any time. We don't really have a season. You certainly have times during the year when the trails are less populated, but right now there's a temporary closure to all the trails up to Katahdin and Baxter Peak, which is where the Katahdin sign is up there. Katahdin's actually the mountain, but it will open back up. Typically does sometime around December 1st, whenever the snowpack gets deep enough to where it protects the alpine plants up there and you can walk on it without damaging the plants. They will open that back up, and so you can go up there and finish your hike if you haven't already done so. And then just as a matter of closure, Brian Laundri, by now you should know his skeletal remains have been found. So he was the person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. They found his skeletal remains, and they have now identified him through dental records and also his pack and his notebook. And they knew it was his pack and his notebook were there with him. Apparently, he was underwater and the water receded, and that's how they found him. They brought in some extra cadaver dogs too. They helped find him as well, and probably he was skeletal remains because fish underwater, fish will eat flesh, and so he probably just got ate up and there wasn't nothing left of him. So in any case, wherever you are on that, of course, Gabby was the victim, and we certainly want to pray for her family, or whatever good vibes you do, or whatever you send to folks out there. But then keep in mind that the Laundri family has also lost a loved one too. Not only did they have to deal with what he did and the Petito family had to deal with what happened to their daughter. So it's just a bad deal all the way around, and our thoughts and my prayers go out to both of those families there. But that'll be the last time we report on that, because we've got closure. The families don't have closure, but pretty much the hiking community has closure with that. And then don't forget hunting season. We still got hunting season going on out there. People do get shot every year because they were misidentified as a bear or a deer by a hunter who does not just gets all nervous, gets trigger happy out there, gets what's called bear and deer fever. Bear season, typically they hunt with dogs, particularly in the mountains. And so if you hear dogs around and suspect that they're running a bear somewhere, and make sure you've got some type of blaze orange or something really bright on your head. Green is not bright in the woods. Brown is not bright in the woods. As far as deer season goes, deer season will continue, and they a lot of times don't hunt with dogs. So you may never see the person that's a deer hunter. He may be in a tree somewhere, in a stand, or even on the ground camouflage. You may not see him. So please, by all means, wear something on your pack, on your head. Sticks would not be a good thing to wear on your head right now out there. So be careful out there, and just keep that in mind, that those things will be going on in the woods. And so by now, if you use gut hooks, you should know that gut hooks is no longer gut hooks. It has now become the app called Far Out. I'm not a child of the 60s. I was born in the 60s, but wasn't really a sensuate being in the 60s, I guess. So I didn't use the term far out, man. So I don't know where that comes from. But don't worry your purchases. If you bought it, you still have Far Out for life. So you've got lifetime access to that. The app functionality hadn't changed. A few things have changed is they do have some bike packing trips on there. They have some canoeing maps that are on there. And then you also, for additional money, of course, and then for additional money, you can get the PC version where you can go and plan stuff out. I still plan with the Gut Hook or Far Out app. I still plan on my phone, so don't find it necessary to need a PC to use that. So, that's really the app that most people use. They say they have combined the trail app with other backpacking canoeing apps. They mention it's accessible on the PC. For what it's worth, they also indicate that their company hasn't changed. They're still the same people, the same company. No one bought them out. They didn't take any kind of investment money. Ryan Guthook Lynn, who actually came up with the app, he still works there, but he is happy to have his trail name back. So good to know that. For what it's worth, I actually prefer the name Guthook. That seems a little more hiker trashiest, and I'll probably still refer to him Guthook. So if you ever watch me on a normal basis and I say the word Guthook, I'm talking about the Far Out app. So don't forget, if you're a trail angel out there, and I had to contact a trail angel today, so trail angels are something that's highly valued out there on the trail. Had to contact one to help get a hiker off the trail who had injured. The Trail Angel sign-up list, the links are down below where you'll populate to that form. I have a public and private list, so if you don't want the public to know your contact information, then put yourself on the private list, and I'll only give that out to hikers. If you don't mind the public knowing it, then go ahead and put it on the public list, and that will be a link to that will be down in the description section of each of my videos. And then, in the name of lightening your load, no pun intended, we have found the perfect Christmas gift through a subscriber for folks out there who either have everything or they want to answer the age-old non-hiker question of how do you poop in the woods. So somebody has come up with a hammock that has a hole in it, and apparently you string the hammock up and you poop through the hole. So it comes in two versions, regular version, which is 4 ounces, or the ultralight version for you gram counters, it's 2.6 ounces. So, hey, if you're a hammock camper out there, take advantage of this. This could be part of your sleep system. You could use this instead of a regular hammock, and then you can just poop in your sleep. Don't have to get out of your hammock on a rainy or cold night. You are already prepared right there, and so you can just do it in your sleep if you want to. If you're interested in the glove giveaway and you want some of these neat gloves right here, then leave a comment in the comment section. I like answering all comments or reading all your comments. I really appreciate those, even if you don't want the gloves. But if you want the gloves at the end of your comment, then I want you to leave the words "hiking fits me to a glove." Now that's a lot of words to say, a lot of words to type. If you just type the word glove, I'll accept that too. But I really like the whole phrase, hiking fits me to a glove. Well, folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.